All right, good morning, folks. Good morning, and welcome to our Owl Edition East Coast Art Party. Hope you're pumped to paint our owl here, and we're excited to show it to you. My name is Len, one of the team members here at East Coast Art Party, and happy Monday to you. So I'd like to go over what we are going to be needing today for our paints. For those of you who have been following along for a while, it's the same old thing. We've got our 5 different paints: black, white, red, yellow, and blue. We've got our 3 brushes: our larger brush, medium brush, small brush, or a detail brush. We've got a couple of plates, mixing plates for the paint. And we've got our water to wash off the brushes, and uses it sometimes to thin out paint and such like that. Today, he's going to be painting on this canvas here. But we know that a lot of people using the smaller canvas, it's the same thing. You just got to scale it down. The bigger is better for his demonstration, but you don't need to use that. You can use wood, paper. Some people are using plates. Paint whatever you like. Windows, neighbor's car window, whatever. With that being said, I'll let you know with our broadcast, we get a lot of questions. First question we always get is, can I watch it again after? Yes, you can. We've got them all posted under our videos link, and as soon as the broadcast is over, we'll be posting it there as well. And also, you can pause, rewind, fast forward this live stream.
But you can't fast forward live.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I know. I'm used to the old VCRs. Anyway, but you can pause and rewind, and if you do pause it, you can then fast forward. So that's not a complete fabrication on my part. Yeah, so you've got some options there, and we're pumped. I hope you're ready, and I hope that you've got everything all set up. Without further ado, I am going to welcome in our nocturnal artist today, Mr. Damon Robbins.
Who? See what I did there? How we doing? Oh, I cracked myself up.
Yeah.
These I think I'm funny. So, we ready? First thing we're going to need to do, though, is we do need a pencil, and we are going to have to do a little bit of drawing. So, I do have a little drawing here. We're going to take our pencil, put in some light little pencil lines so that we know where to put the paint. Okay? And whenever we're drawing anything, we always break it down to basic shapes. So to start this one off, here it is. Hold that up a little. There. See how it's a little bit higher than the bottom of my canvas? Reaches almost the top. It's a nice big oval to start. Now, light little pencil lines, because you can always erase. Also, with your getting feathers in my mouth. Technical difficulties. Also, instead of putting your pencil on and trying to draw that oval in one fluid motion, just use little, short sketch lines, because then you can change the shape of it. Short little ones. To get this nice big oval right at the bottom. Same with up here. We go straight up, and then a nice curve at the top. Just light little pencil lines. And then we're going to have to take this one step further. Again, these are just guidelines for where we're going to be putting paint. There we go. There's our crazy little bird. We started with an oval. And those little points for his ears, we just connect them. So that's his body and head. And then we're going to lightly pencil in his eyes and beak. So the eyes, just 2 big circles and 2 little ones. And his beak is just a little triangle. So take your time doing that. There's no rush. You can pause this, rewind it, all that good stuff. Just light little lines so that you know where to put paint. So I have mine done up here. I did it just before walking out here. So I have him ready to go.
Hey, Damon.
Yep.
Do you know what type of books owls like to read?
What type of books do owls like to read?
Whodunits.
Whodunits. Wow.
They sure do.
Okay. Let's get painted. We're going to start off with our large brush and some yellow. And everything around our pencil lines, we're going to paint in with yellow. We'll start off with that, and then we do have a few other spots to put some yellow. But we're going to start off with everything around our pencil lines, painting yellow. Nice thin coat. We want it to dry fairly quickly because we have other stuff to do on top of this. Don't worry if you go over your pencil lines or anything, because we're going to be bringing the feathers back over top of it. Nice thin coat. Make sure to paint those edges.
Damon, when all this social distancing and self-isolation is over, do you know why the owl is going to invite his friends over?
Why is that?
Because he's done being owl by himself.
Owl by himself.
I'm done being owl by myself.
So everything around those pencil lines, painted in with some yellow. And then also his eyes and his beak we're going to paint in yellow. This is a base coat. We're going to be putting other stuff on here. This is just to get us started.
Owl by myself, don't wanna be owl by myself.
You've got a good singing voice, man.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
Should go on tour.
Please do. I'm not lying. That was good. Like, it actually surprised me. This dude can sing.
Oh yeah, sure can.
Karaoke. We're gonna do live karaoke.
Before we go karaoke, I'm gonna ask a trivia question here. I want to know, owls range over the whole globe, everywhere, except this region. You can find owls everywhere.
Except this region.
Except this region.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Wow. No, that's not a region.
But yeah, it's the region of the Bermuda Triangle.
I'll help out. It's a land region.
Atlantis.
That's not a land region.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, not right now.
Uh-huh. See?
It's
See?
way underwater.
Okay, so we've got the outside painted yellow. We've got thin coat on his eyes and beak. This is all base coat. All right, we got more to put on this. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make some brown, and that's going to be for his branch. So I do have a little cheat sheet here. The way I'm going to make brown is I'm going to take equal parts of yellow and red, and then I'm going to start stirring in little bits of blue. As you're making this, reference this cheat sheet. So if you start with equal parts of yellow and red, and start stirring in little bits of blue, make sure it's all really well stirred together. And if it's looking too purple, that means you need to add yellow. If it's looking too green, you need to add red. And finally, if it's looking too orange, add some blue. Little bits at a time until you get a nice brown. Making brown is a little bit of trial and error because everybody's pigments are a little different.
Okay, the region that you cannot find owls
Is where?
Antarctica. No owls there.
A little chilly for them.
Well, I wonder, like that makes me think, are owls in like the Northwest Territories and in those areas?
Yes.
They are, right?
Yes.
Well, you would know. Yeah,
I'm from up there.
you're from up there originally.
There's owls.
Okay.
So stir your brown together. Whenever you have brown, I'm just going to add a tiny touch of white to it. Lighten up this brown to a nice branch color. Take your time making brown, little bits of paint at a time to tweak that shade till you get whatever you're happy with. And then I added just a little pinch of white. I got a nice branch brown. So again, here's that cheat sheet. Always wipe your brush off after you mix the color. You don't have to wash it, just wipe it. Just to get any of that excess paint out. And using that large brush and that brown, we're going to go ahead and paint in our branch. I'm starting on the right hand side here. Just going to hit those pencil lines so that my little bird's got somewhere to sit. It's not a perfectly straight line. We're not looking for a perfectly straight line. Add a little branch down there. Just somewhere for him to sit. What should we name our owl today there, Len? Needs a name.
I agree.
Or her, him or her.
Let's see. Let's call him Lonely.
Lonely?
Lonely the Owl.
Lonely the Owl.
Just because, he's by himself right now. He's owl by himself. And, it kind of represents that everybody's kind of home doing their own thing right now. Just temporarily, of course, but his name is Lonely the Owl.
All right, we'll take it. We'll
All
take
right.
it. Everybody may be home by themselves painting right now, but we're all painting together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Definitely. Okay, so we painted in our branch with that lovely branch brown. You're going to clean out your brush. You're going to dry it off. We're going to go ahead and make some light blue. Now we do need a fair amount of this because this is going to be for most of our owl. So to make a light blue, again, we're going to start with our lightest color first, which would be white. can change the color of this owl if you want. It doesn't have to be light blue. You can switch it up, do something different. But I'm going to take some white and then start adding blue into it. If, as we're painting, you run out of paint, that's perfectly fine. You can just make some more. Might be a slightly different color, but don't worry about it. This guy's got a whole bunch of colors on him. He's going to have some other blues on him too. So I got my light blue. Wipe off your paintbrush. We're going to use the skinny side of our brush to start painting in our owl. Oh, I got a little blue right there. We'll get rid of that. So the skinny side of our brush. I'll show you right here. If we're using the wide side, that's the wide side of our brush. The skinny side just means we're holding it up and down. That's the skinny side. And we're going to use this to start adding or start painting in our owl. And our brush strokes will cross over onto our yellow. Nice little swoops so that it looks like feathers. So I'm going to start down here, around his eyes. So we're crossing over that pencil line into our yellow, giving him all his wild hair, wild feathers, sorry. They're all going to look a little bit different. It's crazy hair. Crazy feathers. There we go. Crazy feathers. This guy's having a crazy hair day. A little windy where he's at, which I guess isn't Antarctica. Take your time with it. Again, this is a base coat. We're going to be putting more on it.
Do you know why owls never go howling in the rain?
No, why is that?
Because it's too wet to woo.
Oh my goodness.
Too wet to woo. Okay. All right, next trivia question for owls. Owl-related trivia today. What is a group of owls called? We learned not that long ago that a group of giraffes is called a tower of giraffes. What is a group of owls called?
See, we're not just painting. We're learning.
Yeah, learning a few things.
What is a group of owls called?
Owls are strange little creatures.
They are. And, like, they got really long legs.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
But it's like hidden.
Their body covers
Yeah.
them. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So we're not going to give him any feathers right down here where he's sitting on the branch, because we're going to put a couple little feet in there. So I'm just filling in the rest of them. The brush strokes for this part don't matter too much. We got the hair on. When we move to our next color, that's when we're going to have to keep our brush strokes going the right way.
Right.
Casey? Every day.
There we go. Looking good. So our next color is going to be just blue. So don't have to worry too much about washing your brush. Just wipe it off really well. On your paper towel, not your apron. And with just blue and that large brush, we're going to add in some darker feathers. Just little quick streaks of it. Put some up there. A few around his eyes. Let's see, maybe over here. We're just going to be building these layers. And then some in his body. Short little ones. Try not to keep them all in the same, or try not to keep them all in a line. Again, we'll be putting more on top of this. See, I'm kind of trying to bounce around so that I don't just have lines of feathers. There we go. That's a pretty good start. So we're going to let his body dry, and we're going to work on some other parts before we go back with some more colors. This guy's got a whole bunch of colors. So let's mix up some orange. To make orange, you start with yellow, and we add red to it. Little bits of red at a time, till we get some orange. So let's start with a nice big scoop of yellow. And let's add little bits of orange at a time. Oh, sorry, little bits of red at a time. All right, so yellow and red makes orange. Again, wipe out your brush once you're done making that color. And we're going to start in on his eyes. For these eyes, we're going to take a little bit of orange, and we're going to do one eye at a time. We'll put a little orange around the left-hand side. Then with that same brush, we're going to pick up a tiny touch of white. We're just going to blend it in so it's a little bit lighter on the right-hand side. Orange, then we pick up some white, brushing over top of it, blending it around so that the right hand side of his eye is a little lighter. Small amounts at a time. We're going to do that for the other eye as well. So while we're doing that, how about that trivia question? What is a group of owls called?
Well,
Curious.
Ottawa would know this, everyone up there, because it is called a parliament.
A parliament.
A parliament of owls.
Nice.
Kind of weird. Where do they come up with these names for groups of things?
I don't know.
Like a murder of crows, a tower of giraffes, whatever.
Congress of monkeys.
Is it? Yeah, Congress, yeah. Where do they come up with those?
I'd like that job.
Seems like a pretty easy job.
Yeah.
Come up with random things like that.
So again, it's little bits of orange on the inside, and then blending it out with a touch of white. Now we're going to do the beak as well. We're going to put some orange in. We'll blend a little touch of white in there. Just got to get this eye a little bit closer. There we go. Again, if we're moving too fast at all, hit that pause button, rewind. When you're blending, you do want to move somewhat quickly because we need our paint to be wet on the canvas. We don't want our paint to dry until we have it blended. Then we can leave it. There. Nice little beak. Since we have the orange, we're going to go ahead and add in his toes. Toes? Claws? Toes? I wonder what they're called on an owl.
Talons.
Talons. There we go. Talons. I don't know. I couldn't think of that word. So we're going to add his talons. It sounds too angry for an owl. Should be something cuter on an owl. You know? Talons. Talons are eagles. Anyway, I'm distracted. Small brush and orange. We're going to put in 3 little talons for each foot.
Do you know how many talons an owl has?
10? 12. I'm way off, aren't I?
Well, 1 second.
Okay. He's doing some research for us.
Yeah, a little bit. What did you say? What was the number you said?
I said 10 or 12?
No. It is 8.
8.
They have 3 pointing forward and 1 pointing backward. And of course they've got 2 feet, so 8 in total.
Okay.
Do you know what an owl with attitude has?
What does an owl with attitude have?
A scowl.
Ah ha ha. That was good.
That was all right.
That was alright. Where's my thumbs down crowd? No. With our little tiny brush, let's just add in those little tiny talons. There we go. Looking good, looking good. So let's go to that medium brush. Let's clean out that orange. And let's make a little bit of a light purple. Building layers on this owl. Building layers. So we're just building layers on this little guy. We're going to take our medium brush. We're going to make a light purple. To make purple, we start with red and we add blue to it. Once we have purple, we can add some white to lighten it up. So I took red, I added blue till I had purple, and then I added some white. And I just got to keep stirring mine. Make sure it's all stirred together really well. Again, everybody's shade is going to be different. So is mine. That's fine. This crazy owl, he got crazy hair and he don't care. And of course, wipe your brush off before we start. With this purple and our medium brush, we're going to add in some more feathers, same way we did those blue ones. Just a few quick ones at a time. We're kind of following the direction that those feathers would be going. Just 1 second here, guys. I'm just going to go check on something. Alright, I'm back. Little bits of that purple. Making his hair look even crazier. It looks a little frazzled. Maybe he needs some coffee. Speaking of coffee, country style. Country style coffee. No. It's good coffee. There we go. Let me stand back and take a look at this messy hair guy. Whew. Oh, he's having himself a wild day. Wild hair day. You know, that's all right. I'm having a little bit of a wild hair day myself. That's okay. No need to do your hair anymore. Not going out, at least you shouldn't be. Alright, so we have light purple, or lighter purple, feathers put in. We're still going to do something else with that color. We're going to lighten it up a touch more. So we're going to add a little bit more white to it. And this is going to be for the insides of his eyes. Now you can change this color if you want. You can have your owl any color eyes you like. But I like this purple. So I'm just going to lighten it up a touch more by adding some more white to it. Again, wiping your brush off before we start painting. And we're going to paint in the center of his eyes. Take your time with this. Go nice and slow with the circles. You can use your small brush if you feel a little bit more comfortable with that. After you do the circles, it's always good to stand back and take a look at them, make sure they're the same size. Then you can go back, you can tweak the shape, make them match. Or have one eye bigger than the other. It's a crazy hair bird, he can be crazy-eyed. Go. Now we need to go ahead and clean out that brush, dry it off. Maybe we can ask another trivia question before I tell you which colors we're doing next.
Yeah, I could get one going here.
Possibly, maybe.
What would be I'm gonna say okay. Now this isn't an official list, but from all the the internet, the interwebs, I want to know
The interwebs.
who is the most famous owl character of all
Most
time.
famous owl character of all times.
Yeah, I will, and you know what? You can even give me the second as well, because I don't think people are. I think people will get the first. I don't think people are going to get the second.
Huh.
Just because I'm talking like movies. Movie owls,
Yeah.
obviously.
Ponder that. I'm not too sure. While we make some light pink. To make light pink, we're going to start with white and start adding some red to it till we get a light pink. Of course, once you have this light pink made, wipe off your brush really well, get all the excess out of it. And with this light pink, we're adding more feathers. We're going to do more feathers first. I told you it was just a whole bunch of colors. Crazy hair, don't care. Nice, short, little feathers. Try not to overthink them. Like I keep saying, crazy hair, don't care. So there's one more thing we're going to do with that pink. And then we'll take a little drying break. Let this dry. We've got pink on our brush. We're going to lightly dip it in just a touch of water. Just a tiny little bit of water. It's just going to help it flow a bit better. We don't want very much on our brush. We just want to, careful, we want to smudge some in our yellow. So just little bits at a time. Just gonna do like little cross hatches. So it's like I'm making a little X with my paintbrush. Small amounts at a time. And then we will take a little break, let all of this dry. Go. So we're going to let him dry for a little bit. So make sure you clean out that brush, dry it off. You want it nice and clean. And then we'll be back in a second. And we're back. Alrighty. So now, for our little owl, we have to start working in black. Don't worry, it'll be alright. We're going to start with our little tiny brush, and we're just going to outline our eyes and our beak, and put 2 black circles within these purple ones. Then we're going to move to our medium brush for the rest of them. So with your little brush and a little bit of black, you can always wet your paintbrush with a touch of water and then pick up black just to help it spread. But always hold your paintbrush close to the bristles. And the lighter you press, the skinnier your line will be. So let's start off nice and light. We're just going to go all the way around these eyes. Black and white always makes a painting really pop. How about that trivia question there, Lynn?
The most famous owl?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people got this. It's Hedwig, the Harry Potter owl.
Yeah.
Now, the one that nobody's going to probably get is Archimedes the Owl. Do you remember what movie he's from?
Was he the one that had glasses? He was the teacher?
Nope.
Oh.
Oh, shoot.
You know which one I'm talking about?
It was on the sword in the stone. Was this owl was from?
Isn't that this one? No.
I feel like it is.
Yeah, I think
the
it is.
short, stubby one.
Yeah.
The picture
Big
that.
glasses. Let me see. Do you have a picture of him?
Yeah. Oh, it's taking me to. Okay. That's kind of a picture of him.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, but he doesn't
That's
have
who I was
glasses.
thinking. I thought he had glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one was Owl from Winnie the Pooh. That owl. Not too many great owl characters.
Well, it's hard to compete with those ones.
Yeah. Did you also know that Hedwig is also ranked number 6 of 189 characters in the greatest fictional pets you wish you could actually own?
Who's number 1?
That's a great question. Let's find out.
Yeah, if Hedwig is number 6.
You know who number 1 is?
Who?
Toothless, the dragon.
Yes! Oh my god! Yes! I totally love
number
that.
2, actually, number 2, I like this list. Number 2 is Doug, the movie from the dog from the movie Up.
Yes.
He is my very bestest friend.
Squirrel! Squirrel!
The next one I don't agree with, but they say most people voted on Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. But the next 2, I'm all over. Snoopy
Yep.
and Scooby-Doo.
Who wouldn't love to have Scooby-Doo?
I agree.
I
agree. Yeah. And then it was Hedwig. He was number 6. And then Hobbs from Calvin and Hobbs.
Yes, yes.
The big cuddly
But you're
tiger.
not supposed to have tigers as pets.
Apparently not. Apparently.
So for these black pupils in the eyes, with your little tiny brush, you start with just a little dot in the center. And then start making that dot bigger and bigger until we get a nice big eye. And again, stand back, take a look at them, make sure they're about the same size. I could probably go a little touch bigger on them. There we go. Since we have this little brush in our hand, let's go ahead and outline his talons. Little talons. Now I'm going to take my medium brush. We're still going to go in some black. We're just going to start adding in some nice bits of black. Let's start up here in the hair. We'll start at the top. So these are like little accents, little highlights for some of the hair, because we're not really outlining him, but we kind of want it to have the idea that he's being outlined. Darker spots. Very abstract owl. Messy hair, don't care. Move on down to his eyes. I'll do one and then get you a little close up. It's kind of like we're giving him eyelashes, little eyebrows, little eyelashes.
Do you know what you call an owl magician?
Houdini.
Yes, you do.
Yes!
Yeah, you got one. Houdini.
Got some long eyebrows here. Haven't been able to go to the salon and get them trimmed in a little while. Slowly working our way around with some black. Adding in all the little definition parts.
Damon, do you know what they call a boomerang that won't come back?
What do you call a boomerang that won't come back?
A stick.
Oh my goodness. It's because I got the other one that you had to like...
Just kind of going outside the owl. Yeah.
A stick.
I like those ones.
That was great. Oh, because of COVID-19, my doctor told me that I can only tell inside jokes.
Good one. Just come up with that?
I got a bunch of those.
Do you know why the teddy bear said no to dessert?
Why?
Because he was stuffed.
Oh, these are awesome. Len, you definitely started something.
Yeah.
I have a medical condition where I can't stop telling airport jokes. It's terminal. Oh, shoot. Alright, so we got some black highlights on there. We're going to do the same sort of thing with the tree.
Do you know what kind of tree can fit in your hand?
What kind of tree you can fit in your hand?
A palm tree! Yeah. Just fair, but.
Just fair,
next
but
one.
it's good.
What do you call a duck that gets straight A's? A wise quacker.
But that was a good one.
A little better.
There we go. So we'll give that just a minute or two to dry, and then we do have a whole bunch of white highlights to go on this guy, which are going to bring them all together. So clean out your brush, dry it off. We'll take a short break, then we'll finish them off.
Arr, how much does it cost a pirate to get his ears pierced? It's about a buccaneer.
Alright, so just to make sure my little black bits are dry, I'm going to fan it for a second. Just to make sure. We don't want that black to smudge into our white with our next step. Because we have to put in a whole bunch of white feathers. That'll make these bright colors kind of tone down a bit. But again, he's a crazy owl. Right? Wild hair. It's all good.
Wild hair, don't care.
Yep.
All right, trivia question for you. For everyone at home, think about this one. Did you know that all owls lay the same color egg? It's the same color, all of them.
Do they?
Yeah. What color are their eggs?
I feel like it's not white. I feel like that's... Yeah.
Throw a guess out there, Dave.
I'm gonna say like a salmon pink.
All right. Pink.
Yeah, like a salmon pink.
Pink is the color you guessed.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause I know like some birds lay blue eggs and some
Yeah.
like brown and then white and speckled and all of this other stuff. So I'm gonna say a salmon pink. All right, that should be good. We're gonna take our medium brush again. Should be nice and clean. And we're gonna take little bits of white at a time. And we're going to go ahead and start adding in a whole bunch of white feathers. Then we are going to accent his eyes and beak, but we're going to do a whole bunch of white feathers. Lynn, would you mind?
What do you need, bud?
Never mind, I got one right here.
Got some white?
I was just running a little low on white. I found one. His eyebrows here, we're going to put a couple of longer brush strokes. Whole bunch of white.
So the answer to the trivia question, as far as the same color eggs that all owls lay, you're wrong. They're actually all white.
They're all white?
They're all white.
See, I thought you were trying to like throw us off or something.
Yeah, I know. I thought they were like speckled.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Well, the more you know.
Mm. You remember that little rainbow? The more you happy.
Yes.
That's what I always think of.
A whole bunch of white ones. We're going to add some little accents into our tree. Our tree trunk, sorry. Still using white. Little bits at a time. Take your time. Because then we have to accent his face, or her face, the owl's face. We're going to put some little white highlights in the beak. Throw some little white highlights in the eyes, nice and light. And then the purple part of the eyes. And then we need to do a few accents in the black part of the eyes to really make them pop out. This is what always brings a painting of a character or face together. It's just those little accents. Make those eyes pop. What do you think, Len? She done?
She's looking pretty good.
She done?
Yeah, she's looking dandy.
Is it done?
Well, not quite yet.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You always got to do one more thing, don't
One
you?
small last itty-bitty detail.
It's an important one.
Darn right it is.
You got to go ahead and sign your painting.
Put your initials on her.
There you go.
All right.
I think that's about it for me. Thank you very much.
Well done.
I'll scoot out of the way here. Let Lynn get in.
The Nocturnal Damon. Back again. All right, folks. Well, thank you very much, Damon, for showing us how to paint our owl here. What do we call him? Lonely the Owl?
Lonely the Owl.
Lonely the Owl. He doesn't look too lonely. He's got his branch there, and he's obviously looking at somebody over here. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll be doing another one tomorrow morning. We've got events lined up for the rest of the week, and as always, we keep them online right now under our videos tab if you want to check them out. We've got a lot of cool events coming up, including, let us know if you're interested in any that you see back here. We're always monitoring the comments and seeing what people want to paint. So we glad you enjoyed today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and we will see you next time. See you guys.